Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show where, after the collision, we sift through
The wreckage.
the wreckage. I am your host, Jimmy T, and he's my co-host, Jamie the Vet Williams, and you're listening and watching live right here on Immune Media Group YouTube channel via channelattitude.com after the fact. Vet, what's going on? And after a pretty crazy weekend of professional wrestling, I got to say, watching AEW after that, it just seemed a bit, start sifting through the wreckage, man. It feels like a big wreck.
After what, Jimmy? What are you talking about? What kind of professional wrestling? You didn't even say what you're talking about.
Well, I'm talking specifically WWE Bad Blood because, that was a fun show. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if you've seen it yet or not, but myself and Dr. Jeff Lippman covered it last night. But as will myself and Big Ray on I Like a Roll, we'll touch up on it there also. But man, after watching that and then watching all the AEW shows, oh boy, like it just doesn't compare.
No. Well, even the WWE of like a year ago doesn't compare.
Well, that's true too. Absolutely.
Like if you go back and watch just like what they were doing when like Triple H was first getting started, a lot of it was kind of the same old, and now he did sort of say like big things were coming, and we were like, okay, we'll see. And slowly but surely rolling these things out, we can kind of it really becomes more tangible. I didn't get to watch Bad Blood really. I saw the first match and kind of the last match, kind of. And I saw a little bit of Rhea Ripley in between. But so as far as that goes, it is. I mean, their productions just, they're on a whole different level even from themselves. And some people could even make the argument that production is carrying them through mediocre content, like it's just so cool to look at that you kind of forget that what you're seeing is just, it's kind of a rehash of the stuff that we've always had. And I'm not even talking about something like, well, let's talk about that first match, right? The Hell in a Cell with Drew McIntyre, CM Punk. Now, this has been going on since kind of last November, like we're almost a year into just these two guys. Because he gets into it with Seth and Drew right away, right when he comes back at Survivor Series last year. And so even him being injured and having to carry this feud, I'm not even talking about the fact that that's been going on. I'm talking about how everybody's in a group. There's always dissension in every group, yada, yada, yada. They just keep rehashing the same old stories. But if they keep shooting it with 8K cameras and crazy camera angles and stuff like that, it's just like, oh, wow, this is cool looking. I'll watch it, even though what I'm seeing isn't radically different than what I've been seeing in terms of, the meat and potatoes of it. But if you put it on, this is what we talk about with a la carte. We talk about a lot of times AEW could have something good, and I make the analogy of like eating a filet mignon in the bathroom. That's not what you want. You want it to be on a nice plate. No. You want it to be on a nice table, right. Good ambiance, no smoking, just, a nice atmosphere for you to enjoy your meal. And WWE is providing you, it's basically like WWE's got like a 5-star classy restaurant, right? And then they give you like, a Big Mac or something, like something that you could get anywhere. That's not really that special, but damn, they really dress it up. There's just a beautiful, like not a sprig of parsley, but like a big, they've got like a palm frond on there. Like any garnish that they can put on there to distract you from the fact that nothing about professional wrestling has fundamentally changed in 100 years.
With the cherry on top of that, dude, that's how good they mask that shit. But you're right, you're spot on. But in saying that, and speaking of a la carte, at least we got our number one menu item back on the menu. I mean, you know who I'm talking about, but we won't get there till we get there. But I'm just happy about that. That made my absolute, it made everything worthwhile watching AEW, put it that way, seeing our boy Jay make an appearance once again. But anyway, we'll get to that when we do. But yeah, man,
Okay.
look, Bad Blood was definitely a fun show. It was, I mean, just the whole aesthetics of the show, everything made sense in terms of the matchups were all Bad Blood matchups, right? There was no like total matches other than the women's championships, but all the feuds were all Bad Blood feuds. You know what I mean? So I kind of like that sort of way of booking.
A
And
theme.
apparently, yeah, the theme exactly. They actually ran by the theme for once. Usually they don't do that, dude.
And
I
I
mean, think of the
actually,
old Bad Blood.
actually, the intro that they had, where it's like a movie, like I
Mm,
thought that was the best thing they've done since David Sahada
sure.
used to work there, like
Wow.
easily. Like
Yeah, no, it
that
was.
was. I mean, it's not like I'm not gonna say go out of your way to watch it like Conrad would, but I'm just saying like if you saw it compared to every other thing that they do, which it's not that they were bad, you know, they always had nice intros for their shows and stuff, but it was like okay, I see, you know, okay, whatever. But this was actually different, creative. It was like fitting with the theme of not only just the bad blood like you're saying, but also it looked like a horror movie the same way a horror movie would start, you know, like
Yeah,
with the
sure.
credits, the movie credits and stuff like that. So you know, like they're putting the names of wrestlers as if they're the actors. So I thought that was just a really nice touch that again, ultimately it's just set dressing. It doesn't really affect what you're about the matches you're about to watch, but it's cool that they're taking things in those direction and giving people in the company um that's not just the wrestling talent something to do, something to flex their creative muscle.
I found it funny, like speaking of the intro, when you see Triple H and Cody talking to each other in the parking lot, and they're talking about Metro Boomin,
Mm,
and, and he's like, "Who?" Cody's like, "Who?" Metro. He goes, "What other fucking Metro do you know?" You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah, I'm talking about Metro Boomin. Don't act fucking dumb. And he
It's
dropped the
funny.
f
It's
bomb, which
funny that
cracked
Triple
me
H
up.
pretending he knows who that is.
He
You know what I mean?
claims that he actually did. Actually, in the
Yeah,
press
no, he
conference
does.
after the fact, he's like, "And just for the record, I know who Metro Boomin is, just so you know."
Yeah, he knows
Right?
now.
It was funny though,
Yeah,
but
he
the
knows
way he
now after
responded,
somebody else brought him up and recommended him and you know hooked him up and everything. Yes, and then after he met Triple H, yes, now he knows who he is. He had no idea who that is.
yeah, I agree with you. But you know what, man? I've never seen so many rappers and celebrities all in one place, man. That was
Mm,
crazy. The amount of celebrities that were actually there, sports athletes, all the rappers of Atlanta were there, other than Outcast. It felt like. I mean, that's all they needed. Outcast to turn up, it would have been complete. That's how many Hotlanta rappers were there. You had football players, basketball players. I don't know, man. There was just so many celebrities, wrestlers. Had a real WCW feel to it, also in many ways, with all the
mm.
WCW legends. You know what I mean? I mean, Hotlanta was Hotlanta for WWE last night, and it had a great energy. And a lot of people were shitting on it. Oh, it's going to be a B grade show, C grade show. It didn't feel like it, man. After watching all that, it was a good 3 hours. It went pretty fast. Everything made sense per se. And then we turn over to AEW, and it's night and day. But since we are here to talk news first, how about we talk about AEW's new TV deal? As a matter of fact, um, what do you think about it, Vet? Apparently, they've got 3 to 5 years. I'm hearing 3 years at one place. I'm hearing 5 years at another. The point is, they've signed pretty much a long-term deal. All shows will be retained. It just seems like Rampage will not be retained.
What do I think about the T deal? Nothing. Here's what I want to talk about. I want to
No.
talk about how for months, we have had to hear people, including yourself, when's this TV deal? When's this TV deal? When's this TV deal? When's this TV deal? When are they going to announce a TV deal? Rampant speculation, rumors, reports, false reports, all kinds of stuff. Updates that say, paid subscriber updates that are telling you there's no update. We've had to listen to this TV deal. Everybody is now an expert they are in the industry. They're in the television, movie, and entertainment industry. They're all pundits. They're all critics. Everybody's an industry insider now. They're all doing reports. We all just want to know, where's the announcement of the TV deal? I'm seeing it in my timelines. I'm having to answer questions about it on the podcast I do. And people are like, what do you think about the TV deal they might get? I'm like, I don't know. The minute they announce the TV deal, okay, they announced the TV deal. Okay, what now? Everybody that's been asking, I don't see any of them saying anything. They don't even know how to report on the TV deal because they keep making up figures because some of the figures aren't public. Nobody knows how much money it's worth.
Right.
They're saying, well, I hear it's worth this much. Oh, I hear it's worth this much. But other than them just saying how much they still don't know, it's like, I assume that everybody has spent the last year asking about AEW's TV deal because they had something to say when it was announced, right? My timeline goes quiet. I don't hear anybody asking any questions or following up on this TV deal. So it's just like the kid in the car who's asking their parents, are we there yet? How much longer? And the parent tells them, we'll get there when we get there. That's basically what it's been like this whole time. Because the kid ain't going nowhere. The kid's stuck in the back seat, so you don't have to tell them how long it's going to take because they're not going to do anything but sit in that fucking back seat the whole time. They're a kid. What are they going to do? Jump out the window? You're going to sit there and you're going to like it, and we'll get there when we get there. That's what this whole AEW TV deal's been like. And now that they announce it, I don't hear shit from anybody. Nobody's got a comment on it. Nobody's saying, oh, that's too much money. Oh, that's not enough time. Oh, they're going to do it. And nobody has comments now. Everybody had questions. Now that you have an answer, nobody has any more questions. Nobody has any more comments. At least not that I'm seeing. So That's one of the most irritating things in my podcasting career. Like, I've had to endure questions about and hearing people talk about this AEW TV deal. Okay, now you got it. What now? What do you want to know? Like, are you happy now? They got the TV deal. They did sign with Warner Brothers. Remember all the rumors? Oh, Warner Brothers, they're just going to dump them, bro. Oh, my God, you can't stick a syringe in somebody's mouth. That's going to get them kicked off. All this bullshit. Everybody's an expert. Where is everybody now? Where is everybody?
Well, funny you brought that up and testified, dude. You killed it right then and there. I do want to point out, I did watch, have you seen, what's his name, dude? Oh my God, he's a black dude. I think his channel's called Wrestling, 8-Bit Wrestling or something like that.
I don't know any
Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, well, he comes across kind of markish, very anti-AEW in some ways. But anyway, he's talking about, funny enough, after kind of similar to what you just said, except he's saying that AEW could still get screwed because the CEO of what's called Discovery Warner, right, is apparently could get the chop.
You talking about David Zaslav?
Oh yeah, Zaslav, that's the one. Apparently he's not looking good right now, and he's the most hated guy in television, it seems. And apparently, if he does get the slide, and apparently it's more than likely that he will, then AEW screwed all over again. That's what the talk is right now. Yeah.
How?
I have no idea, bro.
The deal is done.
Right,
it's over.
Exactly.
It don't matter if they get rid of him. They already signed the deal. And if they're thinking about getting rid of him anytime soon, whoever is going to take his place already works there, and they already know about the TV deal. So it's not going to matter. This is just another one of those things that people are talking about, and they don't know shit. I'm tired of people that don't know shit getting way more attention for not knowing anything than people who do know things. It's really frustrating. So I don't care. If you're not a fucking wrestler, I'm not listening to you anyways. So if you're just some guy that has a fucking podcast, well, so am I. So I appreciate everybody that listens to me, but then again, I wasn't asking everybody every week about AEW's TV deal, was I?
Well, yeah, no, you're right. And look, man, you're the one, and I've said this a million times, you're the one that made me wake up to this shit. You know, for a long time, I was one of those guys by saying, where's the TV deal? What's happening with the TV deal? And then you made me realize, you know what the fuck am I doing? So I'll give you credit for that, and I appreciate that you actually did that, because that's when I started changing my tone towards this shit. But nevertheless, they did get it done. Congratulations to them. Whether it's 3 or 5 years, it doesn't matter. Guys and girls still have a job to go to, and that's all that matters the most in my book. But anyway, let's move on though to WWE news. Now, during the press conference last night at Bad Blood, Triple H got asked an interesting question, funny enough. And he got asked about black wrestlers and their representation issues for WWE PLEs. Um, this is what Triple H had to say to that question. He says, I don't see the difference in anybody. I don't see the color. I don't see the nationality. I don't see any of it. I just see the talent. I don't see the difference between men and women. I see talent. We tell stories with those talent and how they can handle those stories and how they can represent those stories and how we can bring those stories forward. I don't keep track of any of that. I do what's relevant and what is best and what is being delivered the best. That's what goes. No different than men and women who main events, whatever the biggest stories are, that's where we go. Does people, is it right for people to sort of qualm about this, or do you think it's a non-issue?
Well, if we take Triple H at what he's saying at face value, right?
Right. And that's a bit sketchy.
Well, I'm just saying, like, we don't know what he really thinks, but I would tend to agree that because if you've looked at what he's done since NXT, Triple H has like cast a wide net over the ocean of professional wrestling.
I agree
and
with you.
He will take anybody from any place that's doing anything, you know? You see how we were talking about something like similar to this last week, which at the time that you brought it up, the thing about Swerve on the Breakfast Club, I didn't have the context of it. When I actually heard the audio clip, I agreed even more with myself than I did last week.
Wow.
Because it wasn't a question of, as you guys were saying, or not, well, you particularly, or you and Ray had said about playing the race card. It's not about playing the race card. It's about answering questions that he's asked or things that are brought to him. It's not like he just went out there to say a bunch of stuff, right?
No, absolutely.
So, but speaking of Swerve, is a guy that was in Triple H's net.
Mm-hmm.
And the Hit Row thing was under Triple H's purview, under his leadership. And then as soon as, they went up, Vince McMahon was like, I don't get it. Fire him or whatever happened. Right. And Swerve got signed and they brought the other ones back, even though Swerve was the one that they wanted all along. That's just one example. But, guys like an Omos or whatever, he's not being used. Where is he?
I can't believe that.
But obviously, at some point, Triple H got him from somewhere. So Triple H is looking for anybody that he thinks can make the company money, right? That's what I think. And I just, I would agree that yes, representation is always important, but sometimes it's just people have to wait their turn, right? Like LA Knight had to wait his turn. He's kind of got a turn right now. Top of the middle or bottom of the top. That's right around where LA Knight was. But people were clamoring for LA Knight, a white guy. It's like an old white guy at that. Like, he should win the Money in the Bank briefcase. He should have beat Roman Reigns. Yeah, all this insane shit. People say anything, And then he gets what he gets, and people are like, yeah, whatever. Now there's no black people on Bad Blood or whatever. So it's like, I can see what they're saying, right? And there was a history that you could really point to where it seemed like Vince McMahon would keep people around just so he could laugh at him dancing.
Yep.
Right?
It's true. Fact.
Is that better? Is it better to have them on screen dancing for Vince's entertainment? Or is it better to have them waiting until Triple H and Creative have something really good that they can sink their teeth into when the time is right? Right?
Right. Absolutely. The latter.
Right. But what I would hope is that I hope that Triple H means what he says when when he answered that question at the press conference, and I hope that he will prove it in the future. So,
Well, no, absolutely. And the only reason why I said, sketchy, I don't think he thinks like that now. I think he's learned a lot over the years, as we all do, obviously, right? But if you look at his past, there's some racial, tendencies with Triple H. I mean, think about him and Booker T, or
yeah, but those are angles you're talking about.
I know, that's true, but we don't know who.
And who was booking those angles?
Well, that was Vince, obviously, during that
time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So if you're going to talk about him and Booker T and their thing when Triple H is a heel trying to get heat,
I know, but
and then you're gonna take that as like, well, this is evidence that Triple H is whatever. Now, there's people that Triple H associates with that have a history of documented and undocumented racism. Absolutely. So some of them are Hall of Famers, some of them are two-time Hall of Famers. But nonetheless, I just find it really funny that people would try to point to that as something that, like, bro, that's an angle. It's an angle he's doing. You can't say that. And that's the thing about the stuff that's happening now. Everything you look at now, when you're in terms of like who's getting a push, who's getting TV time, and everybody blames Triple H. Well, who came out at the end of Bad Blood?
Well, The Rock, obviously.
Oh, the guy that tried to insert himself into the WrestleMania main event suddenly.
And
so do you mean to tell me that Triple H is making all these decisions on his own and he isn't forced to do anything he doesn't want to do?
No. Absolutely not.
Well, the fans don't seem to think like that. They just seem to think that they can blame whoever. Everything is whoever's fault that they know, whether it's, a Tony Khan, a Triple H, a United States president, whatever. It's all anybody's fault is the one person they know. They have no idea about the things that go on behind the scenes that force people's hands to do things that they don't always want to do. And somebody's got to be out there to take the blame and the credit for everything.
That's true too. And the thing is, he did say actually also about The Rock, how he goes, look, The Rock does whatever he wants to do. You know what I mean? If he decides to show up, then he shows up. He essentially said without saying in those words that he's basically saying I've got no control over what he does. He just does what he wants to do when he wants to do it. And it's as simple as that. Whether we see him tomorrow, who knows? We could see him next week. We could see him a month from now. It's all got to do with The Rock. He has nothing to do with when The Rock appears and how The Rock appears. That's all him. But that was a cool moment, though. I'm not going to lie. I had a feeling The Rock would show up. I knew he was going to be in Georgia. And bang, he did. There was no chance he wasn't going to show up. But anyway.
Oh, you mean he didn't just go to Georgia to watch a high school football game like that loser that just never stops reliving his glory days of playing high school football? So he hangs around the high school and creeps on all the high school girls. You mean that wasn't why The Rock was there? I was shocked that he showed up at Bad Blood to just walk out, stand there, raise the eyebrow, and leave.
And he done this motion too, which is kind of funny in itself. I mean, what the hell, bro? What is he? Oh no, it's Dark Rock. But anyway, it's Dark Rock. But back to sort of WWE and AEW news, actually, Vet. Martha Hart issues a statement over Mr. McMahon's docuseries and still continues to hold WWE responsible for Owen Hart's death. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go into what she said. She's repeated this over and over the years, right? All I'm going to say, though, is she's got every right to still feel that way. Because, to be fair, whether Vince likes to say, well, the show must fucking go on, me personally, I truly think he allowed the show to go on to fuck up all the evidence in that ring, dude. Honestly, because the cops should have really came in and absolutely stopped the show themselves, whether they wanted the show to stop or not. Because that's a crime scene right there, dude. But the minute you have all these matches going on right after the actual crime happened, that's it. We're done. There's nothing you can. It's been compromised. You know what I mean? And that's why Vince got off the hook. You can't do anything about it after that point, man. And I truly think he did that because of that. Plain and simple. I could be way off, but something tells me that is a lot more, is a lot more smarter than he leads on to be sometimes. And I just think, well, he's beyond that. Let's be honest.
I laugh because I think he thinks he's much smarter than he is. To me, he's a fucking moron.
Well, yeah.
I don't even think he could think in those sort of diabolical terms. Because first of all, if there was ever, what evidence would there be? The evidence would all be up in the rafters where it started. It wouldn't even matter about the ring. But
I think so.
No, and second of all, he was still alive when he left the arena. So it would be like any other accident when, it would be like any other accident when, like if a wrestler just broke their leg or something, you wouldn't consider it a crime scene if it was an accident.
No, that's different, right?
So they probably thought, whatever they could say. And Vince just, that's the old school promoter mentality. It wouldn't matter if it was wrestling or anything else. The show must go on is a saying. It's a cliched saying for a reason. And he's the kind of guy that, remember, this is the guy that you're not allowed to sneeze. You can't say certain words. Like, you're not going to change his mind. I'm sure he didn't have to think too hard about it.
I'm sure you're right. And just sticking with AEW news also, for anyone wondering what happened with Taz, I know there was an angle with Taz this past week, how he got jumped, but really he was going in for knee surgery. Oh. And that's why they read him off television for the time being. So, yeah, so if anyone that doesn't know, he's okay. He's just got knee issues, and that's it. I'm pretty sure he went in for surgery, and I'm sure he's doing fine. We'll see him very, very soon. And other than that, dude, there's not really much more to really talk about from looking here, man. Not really much, unless there's something that you know of that I don't. I think we've pretty much covered the main stories.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah, well,
maybe I guess if anybody else does, but.
Well, yeah, if anyone in the chat, and the chat is jamming, and thank you for everybody that's joined us, and thank you for all of you guys joining us last night also for the Bad Blood review show. We had record numbers on that one, so I appreciate that. And yeah, but I think that's about it. So, Vit, what do you think? Do we put the gloves on and we start sifting?
Yeah, let's go ahead. I mean, not that I have a choice.
You're okay. Not that I have a choice. I mean, come on. I mean, do you want me to sift it? I can sift it first.
No, I didn't write all this down for nothing. So, so we're starting out with the Dynamite 5th anniversary show.
Oh yes, yeah, 5 years.
It's been 5 years of Dynamite, and we're looking at three more with an option for a fourth. Now,
crazy, man.
Yeah. Now, I will say, our own the professor, Chabelo Veracruz, did say that this would be the perfect time to announce it. Although I don't know if he meant that they would announce it on the actual show, even though they mentioned it several times. But I think the news was broken beforehand, so he was definitely right about that. So we'll give the credit to the professor.
Shout out to the prof.
Mm-hmm. So we get a video from the new owners set to ominous tones.
Ooh.
It's like it's very, very ominous, the music here, if you can call it music. Just letting you know that this is serious. And they're cutting promos. I think Marina even said some stuff in Moldovan or whatever.
Yeah, Moldovan. I was going to say. It just sounds wrong, man. What was that? I can't remember what she said. I don't even know what she said. But yeah,
she probably said, "You don't know me."
She probably did say that in Moldovan, which is technically Romanian. They're the same peoples. Just quietly.
Well, whatever the countries are called these days. It's so funny to think of like the maps I learned in elementary school and how they look nothing like that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, me too, bro. I couldn't care less about shit in school, but god damn it, I learned so much outside of school. Go figure, right?
Yep. All right, so there was that. And then we're opening with the long-awaited Ricochet and Will Ospreay match.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well,
yeah.
Jimmy's already
Okay.
got a review,
Yeah,
I
I
guess.
do. I do. I've got a few gripes about this because, first of all, I watched the first time, the one that really blew up. I don't know if it was their first match. It wasn't their first match. The one in Japan, not the one in Rev Pro where they first met. I didn't watch that match, but the one in Japan, I sure did. I hated that match then, right? But I will say it was better than this one, right? And I don't even like either one of them. I felt this one here went A, way too long as per usual. B, too many superhero bullshit all over the ring. It's like I was watching Spider-Man versus fucking Spider-Man. It takes me out of it. No shit. I fell asleep during this match about 3 times, and every time I woke up, it was still going, dude.
Hmm.
And I was like, damn it, when is this gonna end? I don't know. Call me a hater, man, but I don't like that overly choreographed shit, bro. It's too obvious. I can't
Mm-hmm.
stand it, man. It takes me way out of it. Unfortunately, and I'm not trying to be a hater, man. I truly not. I respect both of their abilities because they're fucking great, goddamn professional wrestlers. But when you put these two together, it's like a bad influence on each other, dude. Keep
Mm.
them away from each other, please. Just let them do their thing. Don't worry about them too. And if you're gonna have them too, don't do it on the friggin' Dynamite. I don't care if it's 5 years. At least put it on pay per view. But whatever, man. It's just my thought. How would you feel anyway, Vet? You could be completely opposite to me, but
Oh yeah, I didn't watch. I was just fucking.
well, there you go.
No, I mean, it was one of those ones where it's like, look, I struggle to be able to pay attention to these shows because of my schedule and my timing and stuff. So I have this match on, and like I'm looking at it, like I keep glancing back at it, but I already know, like you said, it's exactly what you said. You said they're a bad influence on each other. It's like,
No shit. I
yeah,
truly mean that, bro.
sometimes I'm interested in Will Ospreay's match. Sometimes I'm interested in Ricochet's match, but then there's certain people that I just know, like, okay, well, and then when they're both together, it's definitely that. The only thing the story to me was, okay, what have they learned since 2016 or whatever that was, right? Like, because they
Oh,
both
God.
had so much time to develop in places that they hadn't before they had that match. Like, they were
Absolutely.
pretty new to New Japan back then.
Yep.
So Will Ospreay spent some time in New Japan. Ricochet got signed by WWE, and you learn a lot in that time. So I was just interested to see what they did. It seemed like they slowed it down a bit, but
They
it
did
still
slow
was
it down. They did.
right, which is the same thing. But the question I was really having is, again, like, okay, so what have I said about Ricochet since he's been back? It says we were told that we hadn't seen anything yet, and
You
then
see them.
he's definitely not holding back, or he's definitely not putting everything all out there. Like he's definitely like he's winning. He like didn't he win one match with like a code breaker or something? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
man. I
ain't
mean,
you definitely are keeping your cards very close to the vest there, Mr. O'Shea. So like I assumed either he was gonna, like, he was saving it for a match like this. So it's like, okay, now
oh,
I'm gonna unleash everything that I've been holding back. So I didn't see it. Did he? Did he do anything new or different or
no,
crazy in
hell
this?
no. Nah, man.
Okay.
Not one thing. I told you, I legitimately nodded off about 2, 3 times, but I watched
Mm-hmm.
most of the match. I did not see anything new.
Okay.
Truly.
Maybe he
It
did
was
a
a
move while you nodded out once or something. Maybe he did
uh,
a crazy.
someone tell me in the chat if he did, but put it this way. The way the match started is exactly. Did you see the very start of the match, for example?
Yes, but I
Where
don't
they're
remember
just
what they
bouncing
did.
off the ropes, right? Straight from
Oh
the
yeah.
get go. They're bouncing off the ropes. They both do the freaking backflip from the rope. You know what I'm talking about? And then land like superheroes. And everyone's
Oh yeah,
clapping
yeah.
like, holy shit. Holy shit. They
Right.
didn't do nothing. They just did a backflip. Big deal. You know what I mean?
Mm,
But everyone's
right.
saying, holy shit, this is
The
wrestling.
same backflip from 8 years ago.
Yeah, exactly the same, bro. Like, and I mean
So
to a
they
T,
were like, "Oh, we're doing a callback," but in reality, it
pretty
was just
much.
corny. They should have ribbed everybody and just done a technical wrestling masterpiece for the first couple of minutes, like just
Big
because everybody wouldn't expect it, right?
I
But
would have loved that because you know what? They are capable of actually doing that. That's the irony of it. Really,
sure.
they really are, but they just wouldn't do it. There's no way. Put them two in the same ring, and you might as well put capes on them. because they're literally paying like little kids. Like, just pay superheroes. I mean, that's what it
Right.
looks like, dude, and it kind of annoys me, but because I do like both of these guys, they are both talented. It's just come on, we don't need to change it up a little bit. Fool me, like you just said. Imagine they had a friggin' wrestling clinic, and I
Right,
mean
you could
truly
still
a
do
wrestling
this
clinic.
stuff later because you're supposed to build to
Right.
it anyway. But
Exactly.
I mean, you know, I guess the fans are happy. Lab Rat says, "I sent this match back to the cooks, you know, to continue our a la carte, you know."
Well, when did you say that? I can't even see it.
It was a while ago. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah, Darkseid says to your Spider-Man comment, Peter Parker versus Miles Morales? Yes. And Cold-Blooded says, Vader was looking down from heaven with Carl Gotch shaking their heads.
That's a good one. Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Well, anyway, we actually got a double pin to end this match.
Oh,
and
yes.
So they said this match is a draw, and then it was like we got the you know, Tony Khan has just said that this match will restart, so they restart, and then Takeshita's like, no, you ain't restarting shit, and he ends it. So Takeshita is, I guess, your hero for the night, putting a stop to this foolishness and continuing the Callis family, even though now Will is out of the family, but still kind of adjacent to the family because Kyle's in the family and his friends with Kyle, but Takeshita still doesn't like Will and never did, and yada 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 yada.
And they went for a flight somewhere. They'd rather go flying to wherever they were going, maybe to Timbuktu. For all you know, this is dumb, bro. This whole storyline to me is so childish. But that's just me. Again, you know, AEW knows stories. That's all I know. And I'll point out this is long-term storytelling. Surely.
Mm-hmm. And then we saw a Mercedes video, and then we saw MVP.
Yeah. Oh yes, MVP. We did see MVP.
MVP.
And it looks like what's the MVP? Yeah. What's the bet? This Hurt Business bullshit that seems to be forming is going to be called The Business. Just that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see that a little bit later because we're not quite to the exciting part. This is just we just see him. We see Hangman Page beat up the gun club by himself.
Yeah, what's his problem, dude? What's his problem with the Bang Bang Gang per se? Really?
I mean, doesn't like him.
He doesn't like anybody these days, man. That's all right. He gets his, but we'll get to that.
Mm-hmm. And then we get TV time with the Learning Tree.
Yay!
Yeah, and Mark Briscoe comes out.
I like this.
Yeah, he says that the word of the day is consequential.
Mm-hmm. Word of the night.
Yeah, as in if you mention his brother Jay in a disparaging manner, you're going to get punched. And that's the consequences. So,
and
yeah, Jericho went there, and it's one of those things where it's like, I'm sure that, you know, Mark okayed it and everything like that, but wrestling, and especially Chris Jericho's current gimmick, is so phony that it's just kind of bad taste when you bring up real life shit.
Too.
I said the same thing when, like, there was something going on in TNA, or it might have still been Impact, where Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer were doing a thing, and Bully was bringing up real shit, and Tommy Dreamer was crying, and then they have a match, and Bully Ray's joking around, like, bring out like a short little step ladder, and it's just like, wait, so you made Tommy Dreamer cry? Like, I know he didn't really make him cry, but you know,
right,
Tommy got emotional about something that really happened with his mother, and Bully make a joke out of it in a match for a comedy spot, and it's like, if you're just going to be that fake, why bring anything real at all into it? Just stay fake, I guess, is my point. But anyway, so there was that. We got a Darby promo. He's basically saying, I got an open challenge for Wrestle Dream. Okay. Then we get Hangman versus Juice Robinson.
Yeah.
It goes a while.
It goes a long while, but it was worth it.
Was it? Okay.
Sure was.
Well,
And you'll
Hangman
know
hits a
why.
buckshot lariat, and then he actually hangs a man.
I
He
hate
takes the
that.
he
I'm
takes the
starting to hate
belt
that,
and
though.
chokes Juice.
Just
But
draws the
then,
juice out of him.
yep. But then coming to make the save, because I guess he just arrived, like just right about here. He wasn't there all day. Couldn't have been there with the guns. Couldn't have saved them from a beating.
No,
Couldn't have been
no,
out
not the
there
guns.
earlier. He
Right.
just got there. He just drove up right here, left the keys in the ignition, and ran in. It's Jay White. Jay White is back.
Yes. Yes. Finally.
Aaron Bench Shlomo is beside himself. He's ecstatic wherever he is.
Wherever he is. Hopefully
Jay
he's
White
safe.
is here, and he spears Paige through a table, kind of.
Kind of, right. It was kind of on the lower end of the table, right on the edge. There, but nevertheless, still broke it. And man, I was just happy to see this guy, dude. I was pumped, and I want him to kick the shit out of Hangman Adam Page. The only thing that worries me, though, Vet, is that once we get to that matchup, I don't know if they're going to put him over, and that's what worries me, dude. I hope I'm wrong, but for whatever reason, they really love this stupid Hangman Adam Page. They give him win after win after win, even when he's just getting booted out of the building, even if he's a babyface. They still persist with him. And I'll take my hat off to the company. They do persist with him. But please don't do this to Jay. Please. Just don't. Give him something.
Well, win or lose, the more concerning thing to me is just the fact that you're putting him in a position where he's the fan favorite. And that's
Right,
not where
which
he
is
shines.
bizarre. No.
Even if you're choosing like the lesser of two evils, like Jay's evil and Hangman is evil, but you want to cheer for Jay, Jay doesn't thrive on cheers. That's not where his
No.
strength is. And one of
Never
the
has
problems with AEW is that they're having a difficult time assessing where the people's strengths are and how to fully accentuate those strengths.
That's a
You have
great
people,
point.
you're just like, what are you guys doing? Some people are even, they know who they are as a character, but then they have to work with the booking they're given, and it leaves some people confused sometimes. So I'm sure Jay can come out of this with nothing on him, and he'll always do what's right for the angle. Just like we were talking about with Darby. Darby knows what to do.
Right.
He was like, okay, I'm being fed to John Moxley, so rather than just try to get my shit in, I might as well just get my ass kicked for 20 minutes and not even bother, because that was smarter for the angle. And you have to be unselfish, when you're working for like a greater good, I guess.
No doubt about it.
So
Problem
we're
is-
happy that Jay's back, but we are concerned about the overall circumstances.
Very concerned because the thing is, dude, Jay White is a cool heel anyway. You're gonna want to cheer him, regardless. The fans want to cheer him, but he's very good at becoming that real prick where you want to hate his guts anyway. And people generally turn. He gets people to turn. If you're not going to turn, he'll make sure you turn. You know what I mean? Eventually, and they do, and that's what makes him great, man. But I'm just like you said, I'm concerned, just slightly concerned.
Right. Well, meanwhile, you couldn't do anything to get the people to cheer Hangman Page. Like they had
Nothing.
Swerve assault his baby in a crib almost, and people are like, yeah, throw that shirt at that baby, throw it hard.
Yeah.
Like they hate Hangman Page. So
yeah, they try to make him look cool by sitting on the porch, right, burning
Right.
the house down while he's just. Where was the cigarette? We needed a cigarette at this point. Him just chilling,
Right.
smoking his cigarette while everything's burning behind him, and that still didn't make him cool.
no, nothing can. And,
Nothing.
like if you're a full heel and you have like glittery flame on your pants, like that's good heat, pun intended.
That's great.
But
Great heat.
yeah, but he also, like when he was a full baby face, had glittery butterfly jeans. So we just know that that's just how he is. So
I can't believe he did that, but whatever. That's Hangman for you. That's Mr. Page. Whatever. We'll see.
Yeah. So Renee is waiting for the short bus to arrive, and then the special ed kid gets off and scuffles with Shibata and kind of leaves him laying. And I think this is the part where he uses his phone to challenge
He
him?
did. He did.
Okay.
I challenge you to whatever. And he's like, let me think
Right.
about it. And then turns around, I accept after he hits him.
Yeah, yeah.
And cool. You're a tough guy, Mr. Perry. But I digress.
Oh my god, if this were a shoot.
You kidding? Oh my god.
My god.
Why did you have to say that, man? Man, that'd be great. But unfortunately, the scapegoat is probably going to get the win. More than likely, actually, he will get the win.
Oh yeah, of course he will. Unless he doesn't. Danielson does his promo here. A little short promo. Yeah, Danielson.
Short promo, literally.
Yep. Yep. And then we have yes. And then we have my friend Mike Martin, who's here. What's up, Mike? His favorite wrestler, Britsburg, the Doctor. Britt Baker is here. She's here. She's here to take on Serena Deeb. And right as they're getting ready to tie up, let's talk about hurricane relief and completely take the focus off of everything these women are about to do, right? It's just like,
oh boy.
You had any point in the show, right after break, right going to break, any other place you could say where to donate, all these things. But let's wait until right when they're tying up. Just the least important part of the match, the beginning. Just throw it out there.
But I will say this. Both of them worked their butts off, though, dude, in this match. I'll give them that. They've got good chemistry in the ring, per se. Heck, it almost looks like they don't like each other for real. I doubt that. But the way they were pretty much going at it. But, unfortunately, Britt Baker does get the win. But Serena Deeb's been putting on some, quite a few bangers once again. It's safe to say she's back to her normal self in many ways compared to what she was like, a few months back. So I'm happy about that. But Britt Baker, man, there's something off. Oh, wow, please.
Speaking of banger, that was a pretty scary air raid crash off the turnbuckles that she ended up taking, which I wouldn't have trusted Britt to do, but
hell no.
Serena's always been a nice person, so yeah. Anyway, that leads to the lockjaw, so Serena taps, and then but don't worry, because she uses the even better, more powerful, more irreversible move than the lockjaw, which is of course the heat back. She used the heat back. The deadliest move in professional wrestling. So she kicks the shit out of Britt Baker after she just lost and quit in a match to her. And then Queen Aminata comes in to save her best friend.
Hated that.
Well, not really her best friend. She more just really doesn't like Serena, so she attacks Serena and runs her off. Serena powders.
Because Serena had that move locked, dude, until the Queen came out. And yeah, man. Did we need her to interrupt? We didn't really need her, man. There was no point of that. I would have loved. I want to see more between Britt and Serena, though. In saying that, but we probably won't get anything between the two of them. Unfortunately, not for a while, anyway. But where do we go with Britt Baker at this point? I don't even think she knows where she's going.
Yeah, we know. There's that question again. Where are we going? Nobody knows.
She doesn't look happy again. No, she's going nowhere, man. Mark my words. As long as Monday is around, I just don't see. There's no place for her to do anything or do much at this point. It just worries me that she seems there's something off about Britt that I can't put my finger on, dude. I don't know if it's because she's unhappy. It seems like the breakup between her and Adam Cole's legit. I wonder where that leaves Adam Cole, to be fair. Because if they're going to be uncomfortable working together or working alongside each other, that's going to be an issue. But then again, I don't think anyone really cares if Adam Cole comes back or not, although I'm sure he'll get a massive pop from the AEW hierarchy. So, I don't know, man. I hope
wrestlers having to work together after breaking up, unprecedented. There's never been any situations like this ever in history. It's
there.
Uncharted territory. So let's here's something interesting. So throughout the show, they had very select moments they were showing throughout Dynamite history of like, oh, this happened, or oh, this happened, right? And then they chose to show something involving Samoa Joe. I forget exactly what the clip was, but it was like one of Samoa Joe's
There was a
moments.
couple of Joe's moments. Was it the
Yeah,
one with Swerve?
maybe. But whatever it was right before Renee's interview with Hook, where he says that Taz was attacked and he's going to find the person who did it. Detective Hook is on the case. And I think that's like very not so subtle foreshadowing of like, okay, well, I guess it was Samoa Joe then, right? Like that's basically who it is. Is that why they're saying it?
I'm not sure about that, dude. But why? What's his problem now? Do you think for him to be doing that?
I don't know.
Interesting that you thought that, though. I thought we were done with that already by this point.
I just find the timing and the placement of the clip to be suspect. So, pun intended again. I'm intending every single one of these puns. Christian does a promo. Something about fathers, I assume. Wasn't
and
listening.
he doesn't even mention Luchasaurus, who's, I don't know. You know what happened with Luchasaurus, right?
Yes, I reported this on the Impact Attack, but
right.
Luchasaurus has pneumonia in both his lungs somehow.
And apparently he's in bad shape, dude. I don't want to say anything, but the fact that he's on machines and shit to breathe, that's not a good sign. But I haven't heard nothing since though, so hopefully he gets better ASAP, man. But things aren't looking that positive from the last thing I heard. But we'll see what happens anyway.
He'll be fine. Takes a lot more than that to kill a wrestler. Renee and Mariah, and then Willow apparently has been mentioned, so she shows up because she could hear it, and they get into a little tussle, little Willow and Mariah tussle.
Two little girls slapping each other, dude. That's what it came across as, honestly.
Willow's a little girl?
Well, not technically, right. but you know what I'm saying, right? I mean, come on, man.
Grow up, women. Yeah. So Private Party takes on the Iron Savages. What a way to celebrate 5 years of Dynamite. It reminds me of it reminds me of the early days of Dynamite when a lot more untalented people were making the air. So anyway, they hit the gin and juice pretty. They thankfully hit the gin and juice quickly, and then they start to do a promo, and they call out the Young Bucks, and they say they're going to be the next champs, and then the Young Bucks come out, and they get on the mic, and they make it seem like they're going to give them the title shot, but they're really just buying Lil Brooks Jensen enough time to attack. So he attacks Private Party, and they all attack Private Party. Then Shibata comes out, and then they get involved, and then Christopher Daniels comes out, and he makes your favorite a 6-man tag for Rampage.
Surprisingly, actually, I mean, I was kind of surprised. I mean, it's not that it's a huge match, but you know what? For Rampage standards, kind of is.
Well, we gotta get people to watch. I mean, the whole idea should be you take the Dynamite, you funnel people into Rampage, which, what is that? Same night? Isn't that taped on the same night? Or do they do a Rampage and a Collision on the same night? I don't know which one Rampage gets taped with, but
it varies, man. Sometimes it's even live on a rare occasion, so it truly varies. But usually it's after the Dynamite tapings, but they also do it with Collision too.
Okay, so here's the thing. I distinctly remember Christopher Daniels saying like a match, a 6-man tag match this Friday on Rampage, right? And the people are like, if you are taping it on the same night, don't say the day it's going to air. Let the announcers do that, because that way the people in the building are going to know, oh, that means later tonight we're going to see that match. So they'll be excited, like, oh, we do get to see that match. I'm not saying they'll be excited, but as excited as they're going to get, right? So you tell them this match is going to take place at Rampage, and then the people will pop a little bit more because they get to see it that night. If you say it's on Rampage and they're not going to see it that night, why are they excited? They bought a ticket for tonight, so they want to see what they came to see. So,
well,
that's just a little thing, but
CD totally ruined it anyway, because he said right here in what was the city they were in again? Oh, Pittsburgh, right? In
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. He said right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So he
Right.
pretty much
Yeah.
gave
Yeah.
it away by saying later on tonight.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. So here's the part where Renee is trying to get a word with MVP, and Prince Nana comes in, and he takes exception to what MVP said last week, and MVP says, "I don't handle the complaints. You're gonna have to take it up with the president of the complaint department." And who walks in, Jimmy?
It is good old Shelton Benjamin, and he's a great man to have as your head of the complaints division. I think he's the perfect guy for that, man. And
Right.
I'm happy for him, man, that he's got a job again because he could have been still such a big asset for WWE. I'm not talking about in terms of him wrestling, just his knowledge and just training guys and whatnot. I would have thought he would have had a job for life pretty much. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But yeah, I'm happy for him. I'm happy that both of them are there. Now we wait for the other big guy in Lashley. I mean, surely that's going to happen now, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I saw somebody say it was already done. They're just rolling it in like they're just rolling it out like NWO style. Here's Scott Hall this week. Here's Kevin Nash next week. You know, like.
They can't even get that even done right properly. But what I want to know is, are they going to be the Beatdown Clan again, or are they going to be the business? Wasn't that the original name, the Beatdown Clan? It was that, wasn't it?
I seem to remember something like that.
Or something like that. It was MVP, you know, Bobby Lashley, Samoa Joe. There's a couple of others that I can't even remember right now, but I'm pretty sure it was the Beatdown Clan, and that moved over to the Hurt Business. But I think in AEW, it's going to be the business. Just the business.
It's going to be hard to copyright that, so.
You think so?
Bro, it's so generic. How could you trademark the business?
Misspell it a little bit, you know, with a Z or something.
Yeah, okay, sure. Maybe they could just not try to worry about the clever name, and just, if you want to have the guys together, have the guys together. Everybody doesn't need to have a name per se.
Cold-blooded things. Yeah,
the Hurt Syndicate.
That sounds stupid. Come on, Reboot. The Hurt Syndicate.
It's as good as anything else, but yeah.
But
so
the Pain Company cracks me up.
I would just love to, it would be great. It would never happen, but you would think of like, okay, we're going to bring in Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, right? Two real shooter wrestlers, right?
Legit.
And you could just have them, like, I would love to see them in a match with the Young Bucks where what really would happen, right?
Please, absolutely.
But that wouldn't be the match that we get. The match we'd want wouldn't be the match we get. But if it was, then I'd like to see that. I'd like to see him stretch the Bucks. But
bro,
we're not gonna get that.
We'll never get that.
And then just never lose the tag team championships ever again until they retire. You know?
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome. But we're not going to get that match, I don't think, ever in the history of AEW, unless the Bucks manage themselves to go over. It's the only way. But we're never going to see that match.
That's so not believable in any fashion when you stand them next to each other.
Pipsqueaks, dude, legit pencil neck.
But then again, even amongst other pipsqueaks, it's still not believable that the Young Bucks could beat anybody. So,
100%.
Whatever. Even guys they're bigger than, like a Darby Allin, you'd think, well, Darby would still fuck them up, right?
Darby will kick the shit out of both of them.
They're the underdog in every visual matchup. Like, there's nobody that they can look like.
Are you telling me they didn't get teased during high school? Look at those two heads, honestly, bro. Like, they would have been getting slapped around somewhere in Kuka, Kawabunga, wherever they're from, right? That's what I say as a joke. It just looked like slappers, dude. And the biggest waste of time was reading their book, just quietly. Big mistake.
You read their book.
It was a big waste. One of the worst wrestling books I've probably ever read, honestly. I truly mean that.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah. Damn indeed.
Well, we get a Brody Lee package, so we can all remember a time when they had another cool wrestler there. And then the main event is Okada versus Danielson Part 3.
Yes.
The Continental Championship was on the line for the first 20 minutes of the match.
What
And
sort of
then,
stipulation is this shit? Come on.
I don't know. Continental matches have a 20-minute time limit. So
It's fucking dumb, bro. But whatever, yeah. Good match. I won't say great, though. I felt like I've seen better between these two. It didn't do it for me. And I was hyped for this match, man. I should have loved it. But for whatever reason, now it could be because they're on TV and maybe they're taking it a little bit easy, as they should. Why should they, absolutely kick the shit out of each other? But it felt like it was very slow compared to previous matches, and it just dragged a little bit, dude.
Well, they still worked that into the story because Okada was stalling so that he wouldn't lose his 20-minute championship,
which is great.
So even though they were going with a slower pace, it still made sense in the kayfabe sense.
It's story, because it tells the story. That's the story, You got 20 minutes to get it off me, but yeah, it didn't happen. Well, and we all knew it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, so I thought the match was really good too, but it maybe around the same point that you decided you didn't like it was around that backslide that actually won the match for Danielson. I was thinking
that?
We could have just not done that. What we should have done is we should have the minute, like they should not have had a big overrun. It should have been
way too long.
The minute the 20-minute threshold, the second the 20-minute threshold crosses, the new owner should have hit the ring and just fucked both of them up. Right?
But
because if Danielson had a chance to win 2 belts, then you could say, oh, well, Moxley wanted to see if he could win both belts because he's going to take them both from Danielson or whatever gimmick reason that. Well, you don't even have to do that. Just the fact of, okay, we give the people 20 good minutes and then these guys come and ruin it because they're supposed to get heat, right?
That's heat, bro. Come on. That's how you get heat.
All right. Well, anyway, they wait. They politely wait until Bryan Danielson wins the match, and then they go in. And
they're polite people, Vet. They're very polite.
Yeah, they're very professional. But they're not so professional that they're not gonna go ahead and beat up Daniel Bryan and hold him there while Moxley cuts a promo. But here comes Wheeler Yuta, and he's got a hammer. And a microphone, and a pencil, apparently, because he makes a match for next week, Title Tuesday. So he's got all kinds of weapons at his disposal.
Yeah, a pencil, a weapon, a tool. I mean, he's ready for school, dude.
The mic might be the deadliest weapon of all when he's got it.
It could be. When he's got it, absolutely. The second he opens his mouth, that's it. That's deadly right there, dude, for himself.
But there was an awkward sort of like pause there where you thought like maybe Yuta might hit Bryan with the hammer, but he didn't end up doing it.
Do you think he will eventually? I feel like he will.
Maybe. But
they're gonna break him. They're gonna break him all the way down. I'll break you. Suddenly
it's just too predictable. So I would like to see them not do it. But
it's AEW. This is how they do their things. Unfortunately,
yeah,
they're gonna be like, "Look, we swerved you, bro. We swerved you. Look, you thought Yuta was gonna be with Danielson, but we swerved you, man.
Right?
We fooled you all.
You know what I mean? All of us. We're so dumb." All right. Well, I mean, basically for a 5th anniversary show, I think they gave us a lot. They didn't give us everything they could have, but I think they had a decent, they had a decent bit of content. They could say on paper they delivered. They say, look, we gave you that. We gave you that Ospreay and Ricochet match. We gave you that Danielson and Okada rematch. We gave you. Britt Baker in her hometown. We gave you, some other stuff too, but we got the return of Jay White. We gave you some stuff. So it was a not completely uneventful 5th anniversary show. So you know, it was enjoyable to watch it, even though, like I said, I had to cram through some of it. I couldn't even finish all of the Danielson Okada match when I was at work, so I just had to wait till I got home to watch it, and
Yeah, you
so
didn't
I
really
was
miss
able to
out
sort
that
of
much.
enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've seen better between these two, but again, like you said before, it was all about that 20 minutes initially. But boy, it felt like they went an hour though, dude.
It almost did. It was like 40.
But well, didn't they say initially 16-minute time limit when they first came out? I could have sworn I heard that, dude.
60
Which kind of
minute?
surprised me. Oh yeah, it probably was 60 minutes. I misheard it. You're probably right. More than
Jesus,
likely.
Jim.
No. It
Jesus.
sounded like 16 minutes, dude, to me from me. I thought that was
What
odd.
what has ever been 16 minutes?
Right, that's
You know
true.
damn
I
well
know
it
it's
has never
usually
been 16.
15, right? Not 16, like as in,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Yeah, I know. No, you're right. I must
The
have
next
misheard it.
match has a 17-minute 30-second time
Yeah.
limit. Yeah, all right. Um
My bad.
so I didn't get to go back and review this, but
Hmm.
the only notable things that happened on Ring of Honor this week apparently were 2 concussion injuries at the same taping.
Oh, yes. I saw one of them.
Okay, so one of them was to Sammy Guevara. Uh,
Hmm.
I don't remember who he's in a match with. Do you remember, or do you
No
know?
one remembers, funny enough, when it comes to Sammy Guevara, but he's hurt apparently pretty bad. And the other one was with our girl in Frosty, um, doing her 450 finish off the top rope and
Yeah,
landing right on a
she hurt an
poor girl's face.
enhancement girl.
Dude, I don't know what her name is either, but man, the look, I don't know if you've seen the video of that. It looked pretty bad. Lady Frost absolutely got her knees right in her face. Now, I don't know whose fault that is. It could have been hers. Could have been the jobber's fault because she didn't position herself properly. I don't know, but it looked bad, and I hope she's all right. But at the end of the day, it ain't
If you're
ballet.
coming off the top, it's
Shit
on you.
happened.
Sorry.
That's true too, because you should have positioned them in the right
Unless
spot.
you're Danielson somehow breaking your arm when Okada's dropping the elbow, but anybody else,
was
it's the
weird.
person
That was weird.
coming off the ropes fault.
Didn't that happen twice
Twice? What do you mean?
with Danielson and Okada?
No.
No, I thought it happened twice. Like there was another time that he broke his arm against Okada as well. Okay,
No.
don't know why I thought that, but anyway, yeah, it looks pretty bad. And Sammy Guevara, who knows how long he's going to be out for now?
Yeah, I don't know, but well, Dustin's gonna have to find a new partner.
Yeah, maybe he's going back to the E. I mean, they're mentioning Goldust, bro. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's okay. They mentioned Ryback too. So
They
Rampage.
did, actually, oddly enough.
So Rampage. This is Rampage.
Rampage.
That's
Yeah.
right. We're starting off Rampage with Shibata Party versus Brooks Bucks, and they have a match. And Mark Quinn victory rolls one of the Bucks on the TK driver when, whichever one jumps got grabbed by Isaiah, which I think they're just calling him Zay and Quinn now or something like that.
They're not Private Party anymore?
They're Private Party, but they don't call him Isaiah Cassidy. They have some nickname. So he grabs the jumping one and pulls him off, and then while the other guy's in the tombstone, Mark Quinn slips out, does a victory roll, pins him. So
what the hell, dude?
The Private Party has a pinfall victory on the Young Bucks, and they want those titles. Damn it!
And it's not the first time they've had actually, I dare say they're kind of a bit of a bogey team to the Bucks, oddly enough. They tend to lose a few times against Private Party. What I want to know is why do they suddenly care about Private Party? Why now?
It's like I was saying earlier about the Triple H thing. They waited their turn.
I see.
It's their turn now.
I see. Well,
long-term storytelling. Remember way back when they beat the Young Bucks?
Way back in 2019, Vet.
Right. Time to pay that off now. Time to pay that off. Even though they already paid it off a long time ago before now when the Young Bucks beat them. But
a long time ago. And as a matter of fact, it happened in episode 2 of Dynamite. Yeah. Long term.
These guys are going to be stars in 5 years.
Yeah, another 5 years.
And Mark Quinn just disappeared for like 3 of those years, it felt like. It felt like he was gone for like the whole middle portion.
I'm pretty sure
no explanation. No one ever said anything what happened to him. He just disappeared one day.
And the other guy started moaning all the time. Thank God we don't hear that anymore. Oh yeah.
Don't worry. He's waiting until the spotlight's really on him, and then he's going to break it back out.
Please stop it.
Yeah. So Renee is with Chris Statlander backstage, and of course you can't do a promo without somebody else interrupting you. So Camille and Mercedes come by, and Camille just like bumps Chris Statlander, and Mercedes like, Camille's about to go out there, so you better watch, bitch. So there you go. Statlander, better watch. But that's not quite just yet. Renee then has an interview with Harley Cameron. I don't really remember what she said, but she did bite her thumb 5 times. So
isn't that what she always does?
Yes, it is. Then Camille takes on somebody named Zoe Lynn. This is a 2-move match. It doesn't take Camille very long. So as Jim Cornette would say, it takes a good woman to beat Zoe Lynn, but it doesn't take her very long. All right. Renee is with Anna Jay. And Anna Jay says, it's talking about Will Ospreay tweeting nice things about her match.
I wonder why.
Yeah, what a promo, right? Hey, I'm going to use my TV time to talk about a tweet Will Ospreay did. Okay?
Wow. I mean, who better this shit? Honestly, man. I mean, anyway, let's just move on.
All right. Deonna Purrazzo and Taya Valkyrie are lady mobsters.
Is that the gimmick now, Lady Mob?
Oh, absolutely. They are. Deonna Purrazzo kept saying this thing of ours in reference to them as a group. Yes. So.
Yeah. I D-gaff.
Okay. Jimmy D-gaffs, and Harley is back out with more thumb biting.
More thumb biting.
More thumb biting. She made it. She had less biting of her thumb in her whole entrance than she did in that promo backstage, but nonetheless, Queen Aminata is her opponent. This match goes a long 8 minutes with a break. And then Queen Aminata wins with a headbutt. I did not know that was her finisher. In fact, I know it's not her finisher, but apparently she didn't even feel like using her finisher on Harley Cameron, even though, it should have taken a lot less than 8 minutes. But Serena Deeb gets her back for Wednesday, and then Britt Baker makes the save this time. So
wow. Rampage was rampaging.
A doctor and a queen.
True, and a professor.
Ooh, a professor and a hooker. Or what would you call Harley? What would you call Harley Cameron?
I mean, she does look like a hooker. I mean, I hate to say it, but
she dresses like Hollywood stereotype hooker, right?
Yeah, like Hollywood stereotype hooker. Absolutely.
Right. Like if someone said, "Get me a hooker, pal," then exactly Harley Cameron would show up, right?
Oh, she's got that look like 100 other million women have. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely. Look, even I've got a soft spot for her, not because she's a fellow countryman of mine.
Exactly, because she's a fellow countryman.
It's not
why do you lie to the people, Jimmy?
I promise you. I swear to God. Dude, come on, man. I'm the first one to give shit to most of my compatriots.
Yeah,
well, right now,
exactly. My point stands.
You got me there, but I'll get back to you on that one.
Okay, when I finally think of an Australian I don't like.
There was one not long ago, but it's not coming back to me right now. I'll get back to you though.
Okay. So Renee is with the Acclaimed. and Max actually likes his new jacket.
He does.
Yeah, he says that the heart shape shows off his tits. He says that the see-through sleeves show off the guns. So he's actually with it. And then your main event for Rampage is the conglomeration team of Kyle and Orange versus Big Business Bad Apple Bounty Hunter Brian Bakeith and Bald Bill.
Bald Bill.
With Jericho on commentary. Yeah. I'm just sitting there looking at Bill on the apron there, and I'm like, he sure does look good. And one of the side effects is that bald spot I could see through the top of his hair. So,
yeah, it's time to get rid of that hair, man. I mean,
here's the thing people may not realize about abs, right? Like abs aren't supposed to get big like other muscles that you train.
Bro, they're lunch boxes, man. Each one of those abs are legitimately they're huge, bro. I mean, he's on some good horse shit, bro. That's all I'm saying. I mean, some quality.
Right, as in there's a picture of a horse on the bottle.
Excuse me. 100%. That's horse shit that he's on.
Yeah, just in case anybody, because I could see how somebody just listening might be confused by the way you said that.
Oh, sorry.
So I just want to clarify, that when he's saying that, that's what he means. But apparently Kyle and Orange are trying out a new finisher. It looks very similar to Total Elimination, where Orange throws the orange punch and Kyle just kind of kicks him in the leg a little bit and they fall down. He doesn't even do the spinning. He doesn't even do the spinning leg sweep,
Wasn't it last week? One of them was, I'm pretty sure it was Orange doing these stupid kicks that he does, but Kyle was literally laying into him, kicking, while freaking Orange is just sitting there going, tap, tap, tap. Right. It's like, come on, dude, stop that shit. It's funny sometimes.
It's good.
But when you do that, come on.
It's good.
Whatever.
Oh, also, speaking of good, I barely looked at any of the stuff that was going on in this match, right?
Well, that's all right.
I could not possibly care any less. But
we get more of this the next night, though. You know that, right?
Well, yeah. Well, actually, I take that back. I could definitely care a lot less, and I do, about other things. But
Nice.
But I still didn't care very much about this. But at some point, I guess, because I wanted to see the finish or whatever the finish was, I wanted to see that. And then after, when I was watching the finish and then the camera goes outside, apparently Rocky Romero came down and got knocked out or something at some point.
Yeah,
so they were picking him up off the ground.
Dude?
So I was like, oh, all right. Well, as long as Rocky got knocked out, I'm fine with that.
But what was going on there? I kind of saw that. I kind of glazed at it. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? That looks kind of odd. But, yeah, because I must have missed exactly what happened at that point. But what is going on with Rocky? What happened to him exactly? Because I only caught the part where he was laying up against the turnbuckle. Looks like he was pretty much knocked out. What happened exactly?
I wasn't about to rewind.
Well, neither did I. So
right,
someone in the chat, please tell us.
No,
because...
they didn't watch it at all. Nobody watched Rampage. Well, Candace Spaceman did, allegedly. You could tell us, Candace Spaceman, what happened to Rocky Romero, but we're going to move on to Collision, and we're opening with Darby Allin versus Johnny TV.
I know,
what?
Sad. Very sad. And the match went a little too long, in my opinion, for my liking. This should have been a squash match and Darby winning. Nevertheless, Darby does win, but
yeah, and it was a squash match, but
yeah.
He gets a coffin drop. It's a coffin drop.
Is there any point of having Johnny TV around anymore?
Yeah, for stuff like this.
Okay, fair enough.
Can you quickly lose to Darby Allin, please? And then he comes back and they're like, that was not as quick as we had hoped. But nonetheless, he won. Darby did, and then he's still looking for that Wrestle Dream opponent, and nobody comes out, and he's like, that's what I thought. You guys are a bunch of bitches. Well, he didn't really say it like that, but that's what I was assuming he was thinking in his mind, and then he goes up the ramp, and then of course the telltale sign that he's gonna get jumped because he just walks up backwards.
I hate that, dude.
Just like everybody always moonwalks up the ramp, you know. So so that gives so that gives Brody King the Iggy to just glom him from behind and, you know, make him take a bunch more bumps than he did in the Johnny TV match. And
literally,
yeah. So we're going to see this match again. Like, what
times, but
whose dream is this at Wrestle Dream that we get to see Darby versus Brody for the however many a time? Like, does anybody know? Is there anybody? Nobody else. Wasn't Wrestle Dream supposed to be like vaguely
New Japan?
Yeah, it was like a Japanese, like Antonio Inoki tribute, something or other. So what the fuck does Brody King have to do? Whatever. I guess the Japan thing's done. I guess it's over.
You know, they move the goalposts every year with these pay-per-views, dude. Like Forbidden Door, like this past year wasn't the same type of Forbidden Door that we got previous years. You know what I mean? And the same thing with this Wrestle Dream bullshit. You mean it's just a name at this point?
Just make a different name,
right? Call it Wrestle Cream.
Yeah. Well, maybe not that, but something.
Yeah, something. I mean, just wrestle something.
Wrestle something. Yeah. Wrestle.
Yeah, or just wrestle. Yeah, man, that's a great idea. Yeah, nah, that's gonna get billions of dollars in the future, Vet. I like that idea.
Well, speaking of the '80s, the Outrunners have a training video with FTR. Great. The only way you can make FTR bearable, I guess, dying Hollywood Axe the Axe action. Now he really is Hollywood Axe the Axe action because he's got a blonde mustache, brother.
What the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
Have they been listening to us or what, dude? I mean, seriously, even with their nicknames now, because you know how they're using their nicknames now instead of, you know, the actual names. Like, what's the actual gimmick again that they've got? What do they call it? Like, they've been calling, like, Tony keeps calling him, is it, yeah, something, Dax the Axe. That's what they call him, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Demolition, Dax the Axe. You know what I mean? All we need is the bondage shit if they came out like that. But for us, it's Axe and we're all saying that shit long before they were. That's what's funny. Cash the cash, cashed in.
Cash. Well, anyway,
that, dude.
So the FTR goes back to the 80s, even more so than they were. But it's the Outrunners who have a match against the Grizzly Young Veterans. And another victory roll. Another victory roll to win.
Absolutely. I don't care. They won. That's all that matters. And screw these Grizzly Young Vets. I'm glad they lost to the Outrunners because that's what they should be there for. I hope the Outrunners have a great long run right now. No pun intended. I'm probably getting my hopes up, but surely they're seeing what we're seeing, dude.
Surely. And what we're seeing is a Britt Baker video. And she wants the belt back. So she's going to try to get it.
Good luck.
Lexi is with the full conglomeration. Like everyone. Like even Willow and Rocky are both here. And then we get Willow Nightingale gets fired up. Then Mark Briscoe goes on an absolutely unrecapable fire promo. I couldn't even hope to try to do it justice.
Lately. He's really been killing it lately, man.
Bro, one of the things about being a pro wrestler would be that you would just stick a microphone in front of a guy and he should be able to go as long as you need him to go. And Mark Briscoe, I feel like, is one of the few people that can actually do that these days.
Well, look at the difference between himself and Jey Uso. Did you see that Jey Uso promo on Monday night, bro?
Right. The knockoff Briscoe.
Yeah. Ooh. Just saying, bro. Night and day, man.
Yeah. And he had all week to come up with something.
All week. But he was thanking his mother, bro. Mum. To my mum. Awkward pause. Silence.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a lot of dogs in here, dog. Yeah. Woof, woof.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway.
Bad, man.
Fired Up Willow takes on Trish Adora. For some reason, Mariah May has a ringside seat. I don't say some reason as in, like, why is she out here? It's why is she sitting in the seat? You know, like Why do they do that sometimes where like a wrestler will like sometimes they'll go to commentary. Sometimes they'll go out and they'll stand at the top. Sometimes they're whatever. Or sometimes they just have a fan seat. You know, like
why?
Yeah.
Why do they end up sitting with all the like, the pissants, as they say?
So anyway, yeah, so Mariah's at ringside, and then the match was going on, and then right when the match should have ended, when Willow hits the pounce, and that should have been the Dr. Bomb and then the finish, they go to break and go for an extra like 4 minutes or whatever. It's just, God damn it.
Fundamentals don't exist in AEW event.
I'm just saying. Like, did they tell her like right at that moment, like, we need 4 more minutes? Like, damn it, we were going home.
Oh man, I would love to know how that company really works. Like, no shit, deep down.
Yeah, I don't know. So Willow does eventually win the match with the Willow Bomb or whatever she calls it, and then she goes and starts, getting in Mariah May's face, and they argue, and then she pulls her out of the crowd, just like Bronson Reed throwing a fan. She pulls Mariah May out of the crowd, starts beating her up, and tries to power bomb her on the damn concrete, and she escapes and runs away. So Willow is ruthless. I think that street fight with Chris Statlander really changed her and Statlander.
Oh yeah, right. Has she really changed? I mean, come on. Actually, we'll get the stats very shortly, actually, because she's in a promo here with some particular money.
Not quite yet. First, it's Alicia and Yuta.
Ooh.
And then Claudio comes in. And then Claudio's like, hey. And Wheeler's like, hey. And they're like, he's like, how could you do what you did? And Claudio's like, hey. Hey. He basically said, like, I never steered you wrong. I've always had your back, and I always will. So, foreboding, foreshadowing. Hey.
Yeah. Right. It's not obvious at all, though. This long-term storytelling, it's going to be a swerve, bro. But we won't see it coming, though. That's the only difference.
No, we'll never see it coming.
Not at all.
Okay, so Lexi is with Mariah now. And
again.
Yeah, and she's like, so we're actually getting a follow-up on something that happened. Unlike, okay, let me just spoil the rest of Collision. No follow-up on the return of Jay White anywhere. Nowhere on Rampage, nowhere on Collision. Jay White's back. Not even a mention, really.
You realize
No, I will not look at the light. We saw it. He came back. He came back.
I hate that, dude. They should have made a reference or something. Right. None of that, man. And
yeah, Mariah May gets a follow-up minutes later. But
on 3 shows, it feels like 2.
Right. She's all over the place. So anyway, Christopher Daniels is like, all right, we're going to have a match at Title Tuesday. It's going to be Britt Baker versus Willow Nightingale. And the winner goes on to face Mariah May. And she's like, how dare I have challengers?
How dare they freaking get these women against me? Well,
yeah, I didn't become champion just so I could be defending it all the time.
Well, that's the thing now in wrestling. You don't defend your championships anymore. Is there such a thing as that 30-day rule anymore? I don't think that even exists anymore.
It only exists when they need to conveniently bring it up. Other than that, it doesn't exist.
In WWE, it definitely doesn't exist. Put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Frank Spiegelberg says, can we get Dark Jay White? Well, no, he's always dark. So you just don't have to say it.
Yes. Yeah. You don't have to say it. You just
it's like we don't say Dark Rosemary because it's redundant. Rosemary's already dark. She's been dark. Speaking of, we may get Dark Yuta, but not yet because he's taking on Beef, and he's not dark either. No dark Beef.
No dark. No Angus Beef here.
No, and they still have Anthony Henry come out and they just like, this is second cousin. Like they're trying to get that over like anybody cares about that. But anyway, the new owners have sat in Mariah May's old seat. So they're keeping it warm for her or the fans that are going to sit there after they leave.
Jeez.
But yeah, so
Is that what they call legitly now? Like pretty much?
no, I made that up and I'm just going with
No,
it.
because I've heard someone else say it too, dude. That's why it's funny.
No, that was me. That was me from last week.
Okay, all right. Oh, interesting. But anyway, they might as well call them that.
Yeah, I'm going with it. So Yuta takes the beef and puts it in the cattle mutilation. It's a little poetic justice there.
Cattle mutilation, right? I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
Some
cold-blooded prefers his beef jerks. That's right.
I had to. That was a good one.
I'm saying there's no women out there now, but we got Lexi in the back with Hook.
Ooh.
And Hook says, I'm calling you out, whoever attacked my dad at Title Tuesday. So what if it was like, I'm thinking like, what if, let's say it was like a Shawn Michaels where Taz got beat up by some random guy in a bar. Like, does that guy then come out on a pro wrestling show to challenge? Yeah. Well, nine Marines. What if 9 Marines came out and challenged Hook for Wrestle Dream? A 9-on-1 handicap match. Wrestle Dream. Hook versus the Marines.
I don't want to be laughing, but shit, that pops me, man. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, what do you do? What do you do if you're Hook? What happens if he leaves 9 Marines?
Take them all on. Well, we've seen Hook beat up 9 guys.
Sure,
easily.
Absolutely. Easily.
They're usually security, so they're about as well trained as Marines. It should be no problem if that's the case, but it probably is going to be another wrestler. And will I be right? Is it Samoa Joe? Were they actually teasing Samoa Joe? We'll see.
Is that the right time to bring back someone like Joe, though? And what
it's
is
Title Tuesday, Jimmy? It's come on, the biggest show of that week.
Wasn't last week the biggest show? In the week before that, how many gimmick freaking Dynamites are we getting, dude?
Those were a big show for this week, but that'll be a biggest show next week.
So the week after is going to be called Pay-Per-View Dynamite,
maybe,
but for free.
We'll just have to tune in and find out.
Oh boy!
All right.
Wow.
So anyway, Kyle and Orange are teaming up again, like 2 nights in a row.
Didn't I say this? We get a whole relit from Rampage.
You did. They're taking on the Premier Athletes, and then the match kind of breaks down because Mark Sterling gets involved and Josh Woods gets involved, and somehow the match does not get thrown out. And then Mark Briscoe comes out with music, Reach for the Sky, and then Orange takes Tony Nese and beach breaks him, and then they win the match.
But did this feel personal or what, dude? It feels like a blood feud suddenly. Like this should have been on Bad Blood. I mean,
what if they had room to add one more match if they could have cut 90 minutes off all those entrances.
But seriously, was this not Bad Blood or what? The way these guys were going at it, it was almost like, what did they do to you? Like, what did they do to you, man? What's the problem? Why is this so, like, hard, bro? Like, why?
Oh, no.
Even Sterling
I find it hard
bro.
to... Well, I mean, if you got a team called the Premier Athletes, and they have never won a match, you kind of have to worry about, their status, their future status with the company.
Well, I guess, but for once, Canada Spaceman actually made me laugh. Jimmy, maybe change the name of these podcasts to the Evisceration.
We're just saying what happened.
That's a great name, actually. I like it. I'll give you that, Spaceman. But anyway, please continue, Vet.
Lance Archer's back there beating up the only guys he can, non-wrestlers. And then Don Callis
just to do that.
He's just there, like he got booked just to beat up the parking lot.
Wow.
And then Don Callis asked him if Jake is still in his representation. Jake the Snake is still representing him.
So. Who knows at this point? I mean, Who cares?
Yeah, I rewound it to see if like Lance answered him, but I couldn't tell what he said after 3 times, so I gave up.
He just said
But Don
everybody
seemed to
dies in a
think
different
that
language.
Don Callis did seem to think that it was okay. I got a shot, I think so. Might bring Archer into the family.
Good luck to them all. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. All right, Lexi is with Mercedes and Camille, of course. And then Chris Statlander interrupts, just like they interrupted her. And she pushes past them, just like they pushed past her. And she calls them bitches, like they called her a bitch. So we're even.
Jesus Christ. This is, again, childish bullshit, bro. Honestly, that's what they rinse and repeat after every show. Except, for them to be little, smarty pants, if you know what I mean, in their eyes, they just change it to the opposite way. Like you said, they repeat it, and then the other one gets their comeuppance the next night, doing the same fucking shit. This is G-rated shit, vet. So corny, bro.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, we're not done with corny because we got 3 people to take on Hologram in a 4-way match. We got Nick Wayne, we got Action Andretti, and we got Commander.
Yeah. This got me creaming, man. I mean, this is an all-star cast of 4 of the best
Wrestle Cream?
flies. Yeah. Wrestle Cream right here, man. When you got a Hologram, an Andretti, a race car driver, or a pilot, whatever you want to call him.
Race plane pilot.
Race plane, I like it. Race plane driver and a commander in the same damn ring. That's Wrestle Cream, dude.
Labrat says Hologram is TK. Prove me wrong. Well, you couldn't fit all that hair under a mask, so that's how you're wrong.
Can you imagine though? Imagine he pulls off that mask one day. He's like, "It was me. It was Hologram all along."
No chance. Well, so they had this 4-way match, but they didn't give us like a reason for it, or there was no like contendership or anything. It's like they have Hologram. It's like they want to feature him, but then he feels so unfeatured when he comes out.
Dude, he's a hologram. Like, come on.
It was okay when he first made the debut. It's like, okay, they want to do something with him, and then the next week is like, okay. And then the 3rd week, and then the 4th week, and then the 5th week, and it's like, okay.
Now his relevance is just out the window. Yeah. Literally.
Right. So if you told me, hey, this match is for a shot at the international something title, whatever, one of the titles, I'm like, okay. But you just had a 4-way match. Yeah, you had a 4-way match. And he ends up hitting the he at least he didn't roll up Action Andretti this time. He hit the airplane spin bomb on Action Andretti. Oh. Yeah. So Hologram did win.
The airplane. Yep.
He moves to 13-0, and that's across all matches, not just single matches. That's tag matches. So we've seen 13 weeks of Hologram, and he's starting to. It's starting to feel like, okay, let's do something now. So we'll see if they do.
I doubt it. We're gonna go from holograms to facades next. That's the new wrestler, El Facade.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great. El Facade, La Facade.
Well, there's another mass wrestler you'd be very happy to see because Lexi is with
Mortos.
Okay, Mortos.
Yeah, I'm not going to use the effects right now.
Scared to use the Roadcaster.
I'm scared, bro.
So, yeah, Mortos comes in, and then the Undisputed Kingdom, of course, they have to interrupt, and they're like, hey, man, what happened? I thought we were cool. I thought we were this and that. And he's like,
He's the best, dude. Come on, man. Everybody's still got to check out that AEW interview with Mortos. It is interview 101, the greatest interview ever, man. I'm telling you. All you got to do is the whole way. Entertaining and shit. And I truly mean that.
He truly does. Chris Statlander versus Zoe Lynn again. Yes. So It's amazing coincidence how Zoe Lynn got booked against the two people who are in a feud.
Weird.
I
Right?
guess it took Statlander maybe 3 moves to beat Zoe Lynn this time.
Dude, you know what's bizarre? Why did Rampage and Collision feel practically the same show, just with an extra hour so far? It really did. They really got lazy on some of these booking. But anyway.
Well, wait till their 5th anniversaries. Then we'll get good episodes, sir.
Oh, I'm sure we will. Damn.
The CEO
How are they going
comes
to get
out.
past the 5th anniversary, by the way, of a Rampage without showing Punk? Think about that. That's why they're chopping that show down. It's not going to exist anymore because of that reason. Don't be surprised.
Interesting
Conspiracies. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they have no problem having Jack Perry walk out every week.
No,
so
scapegoat.
In reality, it's kind of the same thing. So they might as well show the Punk footage.
Yeah, pettiness though, like you said, Vet. So you know what I mean? They're too petty.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I would do it if I had it.
So would I, honestly, even if I hated the guy's guts.
Hey, look what happened.
They don't believe in business.
First.
Yeah, we got him every time, man.
Yeah. So where are we at? Oh yeah, CEO comes out. She's on the mic. She's like, "Say hello to your CEO, Toledo." Oh man, poor Mercedes had to be in Toledo, Ohio. Jeez, God. Oh,
why? What was she doing? I mean, that's too dirty for her, dude.
Ugh. To even have to be in the state of Ohio. Sorry, Liz.
Shout out to RBV, by the way.
Yeah, and RBV. Yeah. So anyway, Camille goes in there. She tussles with Chris Statlander. She hits the Road to Damascus. Which
why
is
did
just
I name it that?
I don't know. It's just like some whatever the move is. A spinning thing. It's a spinny thing. You know.
That takes you to Damascus.
Yeah. All the way
to Surya.
Yep. Okay. So Darby Allin's doing a promo now. He basically says that Brody King owes him for getting him a job in AEW in the first place.
Does he really though?
Would Darby lie to us?
No, of course not. Absolutely not. No.
All right. So I want to tell you something funny. The main event. Okay. So House of Black, right? Now, when I make my notes here, I have a shorthand for a lot of stuff. So when I see the House of Black come out, I just write House because I know that it's only going to be House of Black. So I don't have to write of Black. I just write House on my phone, right? I write House. And then whenever it's verses, I just put a V. I just put the small letter V because I know what verses means. I don't need to write VS. I don't need to write the word out, right? So when I put House V, and then you know how your phone predicts the next word that you're going to type, right?
All right. What does it do?
I put House V, and then my phone thinks I want to put top. I hit top, and the next word is flight.
That's awesome.
And sure enough, wouldn't you know?
Oh, no.
Because I honestly wasn't paying attention when they were doing the card earlier, so I didn't remember if that's who they were actually facing. I just see the House making their entrance, and my phone even knows. Well, these guys must have had so many matches with the House of Black versus Top Flight that my phone is just automatically predicting it, and they were right.
Wow.
Thanks a lot, phone. So anyway, it's actually 6 men, Jimmy, but it's not a 6-man. So it's a little different.
It's not a 6-man, right?
Yeah, it's a 3-way tag team match.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So it's House versus Top Flight versus, and then my phone didn't know what was next. But it was actually Private Party. So which I just write party.
It was a party anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this match went for a little too long for my liking though.
That's the main event. It's a huge main event. It's got to go for a long time.
Of course, we have to have multiple men. I mean, give me a time. When was the last singles main event on Collision?
Oh, there's never been one.
There probably hasn't. Honestly. Okay, look, realistically, I think it was Kenny and MJF the last one, and probably the only one.
Didn't they start the show?
Oh, I think you're right. I think they did start the show, dude. No, you're right, man. They fucking did.
All right.
You're
So
fucking right. They fucking did start. Damn.
okay, so
Shit.
the match goes on for a long time, like you said. Then Action Andretti comes back out. He draws the house, which is the only house he's ever drawn, and the only time he ever will. And then
shit.
while the House of Black is distracted by Action Andretti, then Dante Martin takes flight, knocks out the House of Black, and then he gets back in there, but and Private Party jumps on him too, and then when Dante's left alone, I think it's Dante. Private Party hits the gin and juice to win, so they pick up momentum going into their match with the Young Bucks. Could it be? Could Private Party finally win the tag team championships?
Nah.
Why? Come on, it's their time. They're due.
Oh yeah, way overdue.
Oh my god, is that Private Party as the champions?
You notice they don't even use that theme anymore.
Yes, they do.
The new one.
Well,
now.
they have that open. They have that lady saying that.
Do they? Do they still have that? I don't recall it, but oh my god, is that Private Party?
She says it every time.
Shots.
Yeah, they kind of don't have the shots anymore. Or maybe they. I don't listen. I really don't listen.
It's changed.
I just
it's
hear
kind
it.
of remixed.
And that they also don't have that one security guard with the beard there to hold the rope open like they always do.
Where's he gone? He's usually.
I bet you though. Well, he's there. He just doesn't hold the rope open. So I think maybe if they get a big high-profile match at Wrestle Dream against the Young Bucks, we'll see the return of the shots. We'll see the return of the velvet rope.
I'll be cool with that. I mean, you know, why not? I mean, Private Party, but honestly, Vet, before we go, do you truly think they have any hope of winning those tag belts? Honestly.
Yes.
It's
very, very, very slim hope, though. I won't lie and act like I really think that they are going to win, but they certainly could win. I mean, there's no
anything possible.
What is the tag team division anyway? Do the Young Bucks care if they have the belts or not? Could they just give it to them so they don't have to carry the belts around? Like, here you go, Private Party. You can carry these things around.
Yeah, I mean, they all complain when they're the champions, right? I take them through the airport, and then I get stopped by customs and all this bullshit. Shut up. They love it.
Who cares about also, like, you're the champs of your own company that you're the executive vice presidents of. Like, that's nothing to be proud of. You could give it to some other guys.
Absolutely is to be proud of. Come on, Vet. They worked hard to get to this point, man. Come on. It's the Bucks.
But they wrote a shitty book, according to you.
Have you read it?
Are you serious? Why would you even ask me that? Why would I read?
I dare you to read it, please. I dare you to read
me?
There's nothing you won't even know about. I dare to read it.
Double dog dare me?
I double dog dare you, dude. Heck, I physically challenge you to read it. Do you remember that show? What's it called? Dare? Double Dare. That's the one. I used to love that.
I'd have to dig through a slime pile to find the book.
You might. I mean, shit. It kind of came along and then disappeared pretty quick when you think about it. I mean, look at the cover. They're looking down at their crotches. Why?
Because they stole the two most popular catchphrases of factions.
Too sweet, me baby. Pal.
Yeah. They stole the too sweet and they stole the suck it. They said, why should we choose which most famous faction in pro wrestling to rip off? We can rip off both.
I mean, yeah, why not? They should. I mean, they're the modern day clique these days, right? This elite sort of bundle that they are. But yeah, man. Whatever.
Says, why are the Young Bucks slowly looking like a cool old hippie ant? Well, that's heat, brother.
Their parents, and that's their parents. Their parents Not only are they religious, but they're hippies too, man. You can tell. 100%. They would have been praising peace in the 60s during the Vietnam War and whatnot, and they would have been smoking a lot of weed and love Jesus as they should, as they do,
Yeah.
actually.
Well, then they should. The Young Bucks should then drop the titles to Private Party for civil rights. Then
you would have thought, dude, being two good Christian boys, that they would actually be good dudes, right? But yeah,
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Take that, sure. Triple H.
Take that. You know what I did there, right?
No, nobody knows.
You like freak offs, Van?
Yeah, no.
Just asking for a friend. But anyway, in saying that, I think we're done, dude. I think we're done. But we don't grade these things anymore, do we? There's no such thing as grading.
How can you grade a week?
It's a good question. No. It's actually best you don't mix up.
You know what?
Like that.
AEW gets an A.
Nah.
Yeah, you're right. They got the deal done, so they get an A.
Okay, that's fair. I'll give them an A because of the deal done. Hey, and we got Ricochet and Ospreay, dude. Come on.
Osp A.
Hey. Yeah. I mean, it's a bird versus a ricocheting bullet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. I mean, what else is there not to love? But anyway, go check that out if you're into that type of shit. And a J, a white J, as a matter of fact. J A. And a J too, mind you. I mean,
oh yeah.
What a lie.
Also, well, we only saw her like from the, waist up, so.
Unfortunately, but she's just a naturally gorgeous girl. You know what I mean? I mean, I can never hate just seeing her on my television. But in saying that, Vet, should we take it home, man? I mean,
Frank Ficklebarrow says, "I'm no Bucks fan, but man, they did it their way and made their wives and kids a great life." Is there?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
is there any rich white guy that Frank won't defend?
Aren't you half Irish, half Italian, for crying out loud, Frank? But anyway,
if he's a rich white guy, Frank is right there with the praise.
Praise the Lord. Oh man, now Frank, you're all right, dude. You crack me up. You want of our boys, that's for sure. But
he gave Vince Russo a hug for all of us.
He did. He's met a few of the boys too. Mm-hmm. So he gets around, man. He gets around. He's a bit of a slurry there, Frank. But in saying that, Vet, you know what? Tell him what you're doing, man. Let's get it out of here. Unless there's more to talk about.
No, there's nothing else to talk about. We talked about enough.
Thank God.
Yeah, so you can find me at Opinion Haver on all your favorite social media platforms. You can find me on half the shows on HMG. You can find me on. You can find me sometimes lurking in a Rip Rogers, a wrestling of Rip Rogers stream. Even though they've moved to a concrete time that doesn't work for me, brother, but I still watch their shows whenever whenever after the fact that I can. Frank is holding it down for me in the chat, so I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, and then Stevie Richards still doing, Stevie Richards show, doing big things. He just recently had to fly solo this week, so he broke down the fundamentals of a pro wrestling match.
Really?
Yeah.
Was James fucking not up to it this week?
Who knows?
That damn James guy, Stevie. Give him the flick. God damn it. Anyway.
We got let's see what else we got. JTG YouTube channel. Check out everything else. Everybody's doing stuff. How many media groups on fire? You got RBV with the bottom line sports betting, and you got people doing locker rooms. Ben Hami's still on the locker rooms. Check us out. Share us, as Conan says, with friend or foe. So that's it.
Yeah, and also, Vet, what game are you playing tonight, dude? What's the go?
Oh, well, wouldn't you like to know? You're gonna have to just tune in to find out whatever the Vet's playing on twitch.tv/opinionhaver. Come and hang out. And, it's a good place to interact besides here, because you guys are always like putting in a million comments in the chat, and in order to keep the show at a reasonable length, we can't respond to all of your comments, even though we'd like to.
Absolutely.
So if there's
man,
anything that we didn't get over during this show, that's why Twitch is a good place to come and hang out with me, and you can bother me about wrestling. I don't mind. I'm not actually bothered. I just want to give people a platform to just sort of hang out and be a community, and that's really what it's about. If you're thinking, I don't feel like watching a guy play video games, that's really not what it's about. So
no, that's what I love about actually tuning in with what you're doing, man, because you are a way more chilled out vet, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
Which blows my mind, bro. I'm just like,
right.
Oh,
I could have been, I'm just in a decent mood, and I could have had a whole tray of muffins here for what I was actually seeing on AEW this week, but instead I just decided to run through it and give you guys some hopefully laughs.
Actually, we had a great laugh on this episode, and I think everybody enjoyed it, and everyone stayed and tuned in. And I think this one's going to be a big one in terms of views. But yeah, I really enjoyed this show, and it's good to have a few laughs, dude. We need to laugh.
So, what about you, Jimmy? What do you got going on? Obviously, you just did your Bad Blood review.
I did with myself and Dr. Jeff Lippman. We went for 2 hours talking all things Bad Blood, as all you guys know in the chat. You pretty much all joined us there too. But tomorrow, well, no, not tomorrow, but the day after, Tuesday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, and what is it, Vet? Like 8 a.m. Pacific, something like that?
7 Pacific.
Oh, 7 Pacific. I gotta get used to Pacific times, dude. Can never get used to it. Well, if you like your Raw, then tune in to the I Like It Raw podcast show with myself and Big Ray Hernandez talking all things WWE Raw, which for once I am looking forward to watching Raw, because we're only going to get 2 hours this time. Maybe we can get through the show in 30 minutes, but we won't do that to y'all. But I'm just saying, now that we got an hour and 30. So yeah, check us out there Tuesday mornings with myself and Ray for I Like It Raw. Of course, me and John Enright on the Smack Attack. And of course, every week, right here at the same bat channel, at the same bat time, it is After the Collision. We sift through
the wreckage.
Right here every Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern. And yeah, if you want to follow me on the Twitter, you can at DJ MassFX, also at the PWC Network. And like and subscribe at channelattitude.com with $5. Not only do you get the realest but the best talking on wrestling, and HumveeMediaGroup.podbean.com for all our affiliate shows, and heck, even at the PWC on YouTube, go check it out there. There's a few new shows over there. And that's about it. I am Jimmy T. That is my co-host, the vet Jamie Williams, and you've been listening and watching The Wreckage right here on Humming Media Group YouTube channel and on channelattitude.com after the fact. And we're out. Take it easy, y'all. Peace.